Okay, good morning. Okay, so our theme has been recycling, and today's Wednesday, the Monday, we talked about reducing, reusing, and recycling. So I quickly mentioned composting, but today we're going more into recycling of glass, tin, stuff like that, and then compost, the natural waste materials from the kitchen. Okay, so today is page 45 and 46. Yes. So, recycling into something new. So, when you do recycle and you put everything nicely into the bins and you do everything the way you should, then you obviously send. You obviously send the glass products to pick it up, or whoever does the recycling in your area, and they sort through it. So depending on the type, the tins, everything, it gets sorted, and then that goes into big skip bins, and then that gets transported to specific places where it gets melted or reused or whatever. Okay, so one of these places is Ngwenya Glass. So Ngwenya Glass is in Swaziland. So Ngwenya Glass recycling started in Swaziland. Children collected used glass from everywhere. So it really is everywhere. When you walk in the streets, it's literally everywhere, pieces of glass. So these children started collecting it, and they sell them to the Ngwenya Glass factory. So if you take the recycling to these people, they give you money for the recycling that you gave them. And then the glass is melted and made into beautiful things. So I couldn't find examples, like real examples, but there is some very nice examples. I'm not sure if they really make like sculptures and bowls and things, but they definitely make new jars and new things. Okay, so why is it good to recycle? So recycling is very good because you don't waste products. You don't leave it in soil to just kind of get buried with years. You don't litter long term. Okay, so when you recycle, even if, okay, let's say you used a milk bottle and you put it in your dustbin and you put it in your black bag, and they took away your black bag and they took it to their dump site, and the whole process, you think, okay, my rubbish is gone off of the earth, they burnt it. Most of the time they don't, because it's a lot of pollution. So if you do recycling, then you know for a fact this milk bottle that I'm putting in this recycling bin is going to pick it up, and they will sort it and recycle it and make it into a new plastic product. So recycling is much better. Okay, you don't subconsciously litter. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, how can you recycle at home? Think of one idea how your family can recycle at home. So even if it just is boxes, cereal boxes, cookie boxes, any box, even if you just recycle those by making them art projects, or really smart things that you can make is to use the box as a mold and make concrete around it or in it, and then you have a proper thing that will last forever from this box. Not easy, but it's possible. Okay, if you decide you're going to recycle glass, you have a bin or you have a box. I usually have a box by my dustbin, and that is the recycling stuff. I drop it off on my way to gym, they sort it out. It's not even my problem. I don't have to sort it out according to code and whatever. You just take it. you just use the services of the recycling people. So when people say it's a lot of work, it's really not. If you just get a recycling service, they do it for you. I literally just drop off my box. Okay. Then what can you recycle at school? So at school you can recycle your old books. You can physically recycle it by making new paper. It's very possible. We did it in technology in grade 7 or somewhere. We made paper from old paper. You can literally recycle it. It's very cool. And then if you put it in the recycling bins, it's usually those big orange things. That's usually paper recycling. It's usually by a post office. I haven't seen one here actually, now that I think about it, in Bloom. It's huge orange containers, and then you just drop it in there and they collect it and they recycle it. Okay, now page 46. So now it's compost. Okay, so making compost. Use your rubbish to make a compost heap, then use the compost to feed your plants. So I did mention it. You cannot put in specific stuff like potato and onion peels. You definitely do not put in a can, even if there are still beans inside. You don't put the can in there. You put the beans in the compost heap, not the can. You put in paper, you put in grass clippings, leaves, anything like that. Just remember, you need a nice ratio. You need, let's say you have 2 kilograms of grass and you have 2 kilograms of leaves, all from the garden. Then you have to add at least 2 kilograms of kitchen material, natural waste, at least 2 kilograms of paper or box or something like that, and then at least 2 kilograms of of soil that you want to make fertile again. And then you need to turn it regularly and you need to water it, otherwise there's no use. A lot of people think they're so fancy, they put all their junk into a bin and then that's their compost. Yes, it will turn into compost very long term, but it will attract bugs and it's not a clean solution. You have to add soil, and at least once a week you add just like 1 or 2 liters of water just to keep it moist, because it's about making it moist so that the food and everything, I want to say biodegrades, that it dies easily. And then your soil that you mixed in will be fertile and you'll have proper compost. Okay, so not a lot of soil though. Okay, let's read. Maybe I'm talking nonsense. Okay, so step 1, make a compost area. So first of all, your compost area has to have holes, or it must be able to breathe. It must get oxygen. So if you choose a big garbage bin, you have to make holes in the garbage bin. If you decide you're just going to make like a wooden fence, you have to make sure that there are spaces in between. I see this, where what they show is it looks like wire, like a wire fence. Okay, so collect things that rot, but don't collect meat and cooked food. Like if you didn't eat, no, you can actually, but no, you can't. I wanted to say if you didn't eat your food, just throw it in there, but it will rot. So no, like normal, natural waste. Also, don't throw in bones and things that don't die. What's the word? It's not things that don't degrade. No, I don't know. My Afrikaans. It's because I was home. I didn't speak English. Okay, but whatever. Okay, collect things that rot, but don't collect meat and cooked food. Step 3, collect paper and soft cardboard. Tear them into strips. Yes, don't just put the book there. And wet them. 4, put them all in the compost area, then add more soil and bits of grass and old leaves. Water the pile once a week. Add more rubbish, grass and old leaves as you get them. After a few months, sprinkle it on your plants. So I was right. Thank goodness. Okay, so there are all the steps. No idea if you can see. Okay, now, where will you have your compost heap? At school or at home? So I wanted to start a project. We had the bathtub at school that we took out of the staff bathroom. And I asked them to keep the bathtub, but they didn't. So we would have had a veggie garden, so then we could have had a compost heap, but we can't. And obviously we can't because it's Corona. Okay, but you can definitely do it at home. It's quite easy. The problem is just to commit yourself. For example, if you have a piece of garden outside your kitchen door, then it's nice and convenient. But if you don't want it by your kitchen because it might stink or something, then it could become a hassle, because if it's too far away, then you won't think, okay, I made eggs, let's put it in the compost heap instead of the trash can. So it has to be convenient, otherwise you won't do it. Or what I used to do, I kept a bowl. While cooking, I put all my natural waste stuff in the bowl, and then I'd go out before supper is finished and I'd throw it into the compost heap. That's very convenient. Okay, what can you not put on your compost heap? So they showed us here, we can't put fish bones and things like that. I'm not sure if you can see. Fish bones and things like that you can't, and onion and potato peels. The worms that get out of there is, it's not good worms. Okay, so that's that. Thank you.